Forget what you heard. Yeah, boy!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Forget What You Heard. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Luke.
This town ain't big enough for the both of ye. And on today's episode of Forget What You Heard, we're gonna do some divisional previews, baby. It's football time! But before we get started, I gotta hear something. How you doing, Brother Bear?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. Happy to be here. Happy to share this time with you and talk about some divisionals, man. A lot of divisions to talk about. 8 in total. We'll get through all of them at some point before the NFL season starts. A lot of training camp buzz, a lot of training camp noise. Football's right around the corner, man. Less than a month away. How you feeling about that, man? Is that exciting, man? Or how you feeling?
I can't believe it, dude. It's like, Christmas morning, man. It's right there. I think the first game's Thursday or tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Hall of Fame game.
That's so crazy to me. Feels like it's been ages since we've watched football, man. And I'm ready.
Truly.
And I'm ready to dive in on these divisions, man.
Yeah.
I love doing it. Love just going over everything. It's a refresher. Get all the new faces and new places, see what's going on, depth chart, what we're looking at, records, everything you need to know, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a beautiful thing. And today we're going to be breaking down who?
The NFC North.
Oh, boy.
And I like it, man, because the NFC North was always kind of a boring division, the past since like 2011. It's like, oh, Green Bay's going to win. Detroit and Chicago are going to be at the bottom. Minnesota is going to underwhelm. It's been the same thing kind of on loop the last few years, but this year's a little different, man. A lot of changes in Green Bay. Detroit's getting better. Chicago's young. Minnesota's finally got something cooking with getting rid of Mike Zimmer. So I do think, looking at this division, it's kind of like, but it could go a lot of different ways this year. And so I think it's a lot more intriguing this year.
Yeah, it's definitely more intriguing. There might be a shifting of power. There might be a lot of things going on. But, let's get it started. Let's get into it, man.
Sure.
Who you want to start with?
The Green Bay Packers?
Oh, Green Bay?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, man. So, Green Bay Packers, man. They had one of the biggest moves of the offseason, losing Devontae Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders, signing Aaron Rodgers to a huge contract. And there's a lot of question marks going on, in Green Bay. Who's going to get the touches? Who's Aaron Rodgers going to throw to? What's the running back situation looking like? Those are more of the questions, but it looks like, people seem pretty high on their defense this year.
Yeah.
It seems like that could be the factor that keeps them, elite. And that maybe even the kings of the NFC North again, So it's just it should be interesting. What are your thoughts about the Green Bay Packers going into the 2022 seasons?
Yeah, I think overall it's still a really solid team, but I think, this offseason for the Packers has been mostly about their key losses. Arguably losing the best receiver in football obviously doesn't make you a better team. It makes you worse. That's a loss. You lose to Darius Smith, one of the best edge rushers in all of football, in all honesty. So, two of your biggest pieces on both sides of the ball obviously hurt your team. They didn't really do a great job addressing the loss of Adams, at least on paper. Going and getting Christian Watson, who knows? But another thing, too, is they lost their number 3 in MVS. Valdez-Scantling's also gone. So that's another role you have to fill. So I know Romeo Doubs has been a guy that's been kind of being a stud right now in training camp, but I'm not sure if they have the pieces to fill that void. And then defensively, Rashawn Gary is a really good up-and-coming stud. to fill that Zadarius Smith role along with Preston Smith. But in terms of the Packers, doing something to address those needs, I'm not sure if they really improved based off of that.
Yeah, I think the losses on offense are like the biggest thing for me. Like, how do you make up what Davante Adams brought? That chemistry he had with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, red zone, when in doubt, throw it to Davante. Now he's looking at, Alan Lazard, Christian Watson. They brought in Sammy Watkins, Amari Rodgers they got out there. It's just, they still have Randall Cobb. It's just going to be very interesting how this looks, the target shares and everything. But I think that Green Bay that we've known in the past, Aaron Rodgers being a 2-time MVP, so he's been throwing the ball around the yard, putting up the stats, the glorious stats. I don't think we're going to see that this year.
You don't think so?
I think it's going to be a lot of running the football on that frozen tundra. They got a two-headed monster back there. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, man.
Yeah, getting back to the losses that I was bringing up, Nathaniel Hackett was another one they lost, their offensive coordinator. And so all they did was promote their offensive line coach to run the offense, so we'll have to see how that goes. But that was another loss for them. Two names I want to mention that I think have to step up the most in this offense this year to accommodate the loss of Adams is Aaron Jones, along with Alan Lazard. I think are two obvious guys in my eyes. I know Aaron Jones has been a stud, but he has to take on this role of being the true workhorse, the true weapon out of the backfield for Aaron Rodgers. He has to elevate for sure, even though I know he's a great player and everything. And then Alan Lazard already having that rapport with Rodgers. Rodgers already, speaking highly of him this offseason. He's our number one. He needs to, show what he can do, that he's capable of doing it. So those are two names I'm watching for on offense for the Packers. But like you said, I think this offense is now moving from Aaron Rodgers first to now a run first and a defensive-minded team as well.
Yeah, I think they're just going to grind out games. That's why, I have some worries. Also, going back to Alan Lazard, he just doesn't strike me as a number one guy. I feel like it's going to be someone else.
Really?
Yeah, he's not the athlete, But that being said, Aaron Rodgers can, work with Alan Lazard. I think, what do you have, like 8 touchdowns last year or something?
Yeah.
So, it's hard for me to picture Alan Lazard as the number one. If I was a betting man, I think it would be someone else. But Christian Watson already has an injury. Sammy Watkins can't stay healthy for more than 2 games. A name we haven't mentioned yet, A.J. Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
I know you mentioned Aaron Jones has to be a workhorse and everything. I think that is very true, and I think Aaron Jones is going to get a lot of receptions. But I also think that A.J. Dillon plays a huge factor, being that 1-2 punch, and he also showed off his receiving skills last year.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it could be a 50-50 split. That's hard for me to believe when you have a talent like Aaron Jones and he's on that contract. But, it's still a strong team and the defense is strong. They still have, one of the best corners in the game. You mentioned Rashawn Gary. And they drafted 2 Georgia boys. So to, stiffen up that defense. I think it's just going to be kind of like an old school, which is perfect in Green Bay, especially whenever playoffs comes around when it's getting frozen down there.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting Arctic. We're going, ice fishing. Man, having that ground game and that stout defense, it could be a recipe for success.
Yeah, it's funny how the 49ers have kind of had their number in the playoffs the last few years, and their MO has always been ground game and defense, and that's how they've knocked them out of the playoffs. So they probably took a lot of from those games. Like Raheem Mostert, broke a lot of those playoff records, and then last year, Elijah Mitchell and those guys, and just it's a good formula to grind games out, and then with Aaron Rodgers can bail you out at the end of games just because of the talent alone. Like you can place your whole game on Aaron Rodgers' back going into the fourth quarter, down by 3, the few minutes left. That's when you call on Aaron Rodgers, be like, hey, it's up to you to win this game. We've grinded out the whole game. Defense has played well. Now we get your number. And that's how I think that's how they're going to, try to win games and try to continue to be an elite football team.
My question to you is, can Aaron Rodgers do that with the weapons he has that you see on this roster today?
Yeah. He has. Yeah, he's that guy, man. Back-to-back MVPs. The last 3 years he's averaged 37 passing touchdowns. He just has it. And even if you might not think he still has it, I mean, if you're the Packers, you have to have that trust in Aaron Rodgers, his talent, regardless that this guy has it, he can pull it out for us. And I do believe it. I mean, Randall Cobb, he's not the same as he once was, but I think he can be, reliable. He can make clutch plays for him down the stretch. And with these young guys, man, you never know. What if Watson and Dubs are, really good players? Even Amari Rodgers.
Yeah, that's just one thing that worries me is close game, Rodgers and this new wide receiver core. Can he get it done? I mean, I know he's great and everything, but there's no Devontae Adams. Like literally his right hand man when in doubt. It was everything, red zone, everything. That's just one thing that worries me in the close games that they pulled out, in years past. Can he do it with Alan Lazard leading the charge and an old Randall Cobb?
Or Aaron Jones as well.
And then Robert Tonyan's coming off an ACL.
He's a name to look out for.
Yeah, do you think he'll start? He'll be ready for week 1?
I don't know. It's hard he's doing light work off the side. I don't even think he's participating, but we still have some time. I think he might be out there week 1, yeah.
Yeah, that would be huge. I think he would give them another dimension. And also David Bakhtiari.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, they still have a good O-line. Elgington Jenkins, one of my favorite offensive linemen in the league. John Runyon, Josh Myers, pretty solid.
He's coming back from ACL too.
Who's that?
Jenkins.
Yeah, but he'll be ready.
He should be ready to go.
He'll start at right tackle for them. But I just want to mention before we get into our record and predictions is I just want to mention how good their defense really does look on paper. I'll go through some names. Their defensive, interior: Kenny Clark, Dean Lowry, Jaron Reed, Devontae Wyatt. I mean, that's 4 deep. Their edge rushers: Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary. Linebackers: Devondre Campbell, Quay Walker, Chris Barnes. I really like too. And then their secondary, in my opinion, might be the best secondary in all of football. My bold prediction, actually, I'll go ahead and give you all a sneak peek. This Green Bay secondary becomes the most feared secondary in all of football this year. They will become the 32nd ranked to play against as a quarterback. They will be difficult to throw on. And that's because they have Jair Alexander coming back, Eric Stokes, first-round pick last year, and Rasul Douglas last year, who emerged.
He was really
He was making
good
plays left and right. And then one of my 2 favorite safeties, Darnell Savage and Adrian Amos. That's a scary duo back there. We've seen a lot from Savage, man. He could emerge as one of the better guys. So as a whole, man, that defense looks solid. In my opinion, that's a top 3 defense in football on paper. And just wanted to throw that out there because, that's a good look.
Yeah, that's a stout-looking defense on paper.
Really good.
Really. And I think they have a lot of depth at positions, too. So that's, something to look at, too. Did you want to get into some predictions, or are you scared like the rest of them?
We can get predictions. I want to hear yours first because we might have some similar ones. Like we said, so, yeah.
Go ahead.
You want me to go?
Oh, no. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, we haven't shared our predictions or records to each other.
Yeah.
So if we end up having the same ones, I guess we'll just mention it and maybe talk on it and stuff. But it should be interesting. I actually wrote down 2 or 3 for each team.
Records?
No, predictions.
Okay, I have a few.
Okay.
I can throw out,
We'll see. There. But my most important one I think I'm going to put out there, after already mentioning the secondary becomes the most feared, is that A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones both combined for 1,500 total yards.
Combined for 1,500?
Yeah, both of them.
I can see that.
That's not bold?
I don't think so.
Really?
What did they combine for last year?
I mean, right now, Aaron Jones is projected to get a little over 1,200, and A.J. Dillon is a little over 900. But I have them both going over 1,500 total.
1,500 total?
Yes.
So combined?
Yeah. No, like both of them get 1,500.
Individually get 1,500?
Yes.
Oh, good night. Yeah, that is... I thought you meant combined. I was like,
No,
that's nothing.
No, total between, both of them get 1,500 yards.
Yeah, that's very, very bold.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was like, whatever you said, I was like, okay, man, that's
No,
not
dude.
really
When we
bold.
say bold, dude, we're going crazy. At least I am.
I mean, I have, I guess, pretty bold. I have Amari Rodgers emerging as the number one receiver.
Amari Rodgers.
Yeah, from Clemson.
The number
Second.
one?
Yeah.
As in, like, total catches and yards? Or?
Yeah, he will be an alpha.
Oh, man.
No one's talking about
That's
him.
bolder than mine.
I know.
Wow.
Is it?
Yes.
Yours is astronomical.
No, yours might be astronomical.
Is Amari Rodgers not good at all?
I don't know. No, he's not. Not that he's bad. It's just there's other guys that I don't know. That just seems crazy.
Does Romeo Dubs have a better chance?
I would probably, yeah.
I'm going to go Amari Rodgers. I've been saying it. I think I said it for years now.
Yeah, I mean,
he's only been there for 2 years.
I mean, it's a bold prediction, man. That's fine with me.
I also have Aaron Jones leading the Packers in receptions.
I have that as well.
Yeah.
That's one of mine as well.
And I also have that none of the receivers will have over 50 receptions.
I don't know about that. Who gets all the catches?
Spread the wealth. Everyone.
Everyone gets under 50 catches?
Aaron Rodgers is a surgeon, man.
Huh, interesting.
He's going to spread the wealth.
Does that include Robert Tanya, too?
Yeah.
So no one on the team has over 50?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't think that's physically possible.
It's possible.
He wouldn't throw for that much.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay,
because of the run first.
All right. Oh, do you have a record? What's your record for the Green Bay Packers this year?
10-7.
Okay, so you're a little down on them.
I just don't, like I said, the thing that worries me is in close games. You need a big play wide receiver in big games, in close games, Aaron Rodgers is great, yes, but he's aging. He doesn't have the superstar anymore.
It could be Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones can only do so much.
That's fair. 10-7's fine. I think their projected wins is 11.5 right now, which is the second highest, I think, in the NFL, which is kind of crazy. So I think it's smart to take the under. And at 11.5, I'm going to have them going 11-6. So getting one more win than you. Making the playoffs, possibly. So Green Bay 11-6 for me and 10-7 for Aaron.
Yes. You got anything else on the Green Bears?
No, I don't think so, man. I'm ready to move on.
Let's go to the Minnesota Vikings, baby.
Purple People Eater.
Yes, sir. Some changes here. At coach, Mike Zimmer is out. Kevin O'Connell is in. I think it sounds like Kevin O'Connell's bringing like an air raid offense into Minnesota, which I think fits them very well, having, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, Irv Smith when he gets back. I know he got injured. He's getting surgery, which is very sad for me. I have high hopes for Irv Smith, and I think he can thrive in this offense. Of course, they have the mainstay, Dalvin Cook. I just think it's looking... I see the light at the end of the tunnel for the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it, or are you still kind of scared of in there?
No, man, I definitely do. I think the coaching change is huge for this team in terms of confidence and just like chemistry as a whole. Who knows what Mike Zimmer was doing in that locker room to separate those guys, and maybe those guys kind of gave up on him. So getting a whole new life in there, a whole new breath, it could really, really bring this team together. And we can really see this team reach its full potential, because I think every year we look at Minnesota like, oh, this team on paper looks good. This is a playoff team. And then they underwhelm. That's kind of been it year in and year out for Minnesota. Really haven't seen Kirk Cousins, elevate or take that next step. But with the new coach, who knows? So
yeah, the new coach actually likes Kirk Cousins. Mike Zimmer hated Kirk Cousins with a passion. He hated him like a redheaded stepchild. I think Kirk Cousins is going to blossom. He's already a above average quarterback, if you ask me, and being in a system where he's wanted and needed, and he's got weapons around him. It could be it could be a nice little show there in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And we mentioned the loss of Zadarius Smith for Green Bay. Looks like he showed up on one of their division rivals in Minnesota, baby.
Yeah.
Great pickup for them. They also, they have Danielle Hunter. A very, very, no one talks about him, but he's an elite pass rusher. Defensive end. Wouldn't you agree?
Daniel Hunter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
No one talks about him. Jordan Hicks.
Oh, yeah, they picked him up, huh?
He's a fine linebacker. They drafted Andrew Booth Jr. to beef up that secondary. Patrick Peterson re-signed. They still have, the OG Harrison Smith. They also drafted Lewis Seen from Georgia, the safety. They got some interesting things going, Can you do your Viking noise? You're supposed to do like the actual dude.
We're Chardon?
There it is, I missed it. We had to bring it back.
Forgot about it.
But I know everyone says it every year. Minnesota is gonna make some noise. And they always, poop the pants, figuratively and literally. But I'm back on it. I'm beating the drum again. Minnesota, baby, exciting. They have the weapons. One of these days they gotta turn the corner, right, Lou?
Yeah, I believe they do as well. I mean, after going 8-9 last year, they did have some injuries and stuff. I think, on paper at least, this is a better team. I think they'll look to turn the corner in 2022. Kevin O'Connell, if he can just get off to a hot start, kind of translate that Rams offense over to Minnesota. You have the pieces here in Minnesota to be able to do that. Dalvin Cook, Thielen, Jefferson, Osborne, Irv Smith. It's just a matter of, how much can you put in Kirk Cousins' plate. I know he's doing research. I know he's studying. I know he's trying to put the work to be able to do it, because I'm sure it's a lot for them to take in. But if it can translate, we're seeing an emergence of this offense. Not a lot of stalling. This is going to be a high-powered offense. Jefferson could have a career year, which is saying a lot because he's been phenomenal. Obviously, the health of Adam Thielen will go a long way for this team as well. Very underrated. He's a route technician. Always seems to have really good numbers in the games that he plays. He's very impactful. It's just, I think this can easily be a top 10 offense in football. You mentioned a lot of their defense.
Improved? Question mark?
As on offense?
Defensively.
Here, let's think about this. Okay, so they lost some key names. They lost were Michael Pierce, a defensive tackle, pretty good player. Anthony Barr, linebacker. Xavier Woods, kind of like the main guys on offense. But let's see, Xavier Woods is a safety. They drafted Lewis Seen back of the first round, replacement, easy. Anthony Barr, linebacker, he's gone. You brought in Jordan Hicks to fill that role for him. Michael Pierce, you have Harrison Phillips. I think he's coming over from Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. And then Dalvin Tomlinson, he's a really good defensive tackle. Mm-hmm. And then the additions, Zadarius Smith. You're getting Daniel Hunter healthy, Eric Kendricks, Andrew Booth Jr. So, yeah, if you're asking me if they've improved, I would say yes, they have improved. So I'm looking at their 8-9 record. Their projected win total is 8.9 right now, which seems a little bit low.
Yeah, I would say.
So I just wanted to throw that out there.
They also have a third-round pick, Brian Asamoah, that
Yeah,
linebacker
from
that's actually
Oklahoma.
competing with Jordan Hicks for snaps. So having that depth as well, it's just like I don't, it's hard for me to really put my foot down and be hard. I always root for the Vikings. Is that weird?
No,
Because they're just kind of, they're just kind of the Vikings ever since, I've been watching football, man.
I think they're fun to root for, man, because they have good players
They have cool uniforms.
in a nice stadium.
Nice stadium.
And like Dalvin Cook, Jefferson, Thielen, Irv Smith, like they have good players on their team. Madison.
Yeah, the best backup running back in the league.
I don't know about that, but what's your record for the Vikings? I'd like to get into that first.
I have the Vikings going 11-6 and winning the division. The
No.
NFC North goes to the Minnesota Vikings. Crew instant.
Wow, so you're really in.
I'm in, dude. You can call me crazy but I think a big part of it was Zimmer, dude.
Yeah.
The guy was living in the Stone Ages. He hated Kirk Cousins. This isn't no hearsay. This isn't alleged. He told Kirk Cousins to his face he hated him. And he hated his children. That guy had some spite for Kirk Cousins. How can you play for a head coach, go out there every Sunday, and yeah, you're making the boneheaded plays, but afterward your coach is just laughing and enjoying your pain. It's no way to live and be a starting quarterback. And Kirk Cousins, he's a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's a good player. One of my bold predictions is that Kirk Cousins wins NFL MVP.
Dang, you're taking all of mine. Okay.
Hey, come on, man. You can't get on that.
So the Packers 10-7, the Vikings 11-6.
It's a close race.
Wow.
The factor that it's the first game of the season.
Yes.
Whoever wins that, and I think it's going to be the Vikings.
It's at home for Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's a 40% win probability. Yeah, it's good chances.
It could happen, yeah. It's just, I think people are too sure on Green Bay to win it would be their 5th straight division title or something?
For Green Bay? Yeah.
Yeah, something's got to change, man. There's got to be some parity in this NFL season. I think it's the Minnesota Vikings winning the NFC North. I mean, the talent's there. They have a top 5 running back, top 3 wide receiver. KJ Osborne's coming up. Irv Smith could be good. Their defense has improved, in my opinion. They just got a lot going on, man. And I like it. New coach. I think he's a young, bright, and he's going to use them to their full potential.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to have those records flipped because I have Minnesota going 10-7. So I'm going to take the over on their 8.9 projected wins. I like their schedule. Their schedule isn't brutal or anything. I mean, you get Green Bay, Philly. You get the NFC East.
It's the 20th easiest schedule.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty easy as a whole. You get Chicago twice, Detroit twice. You get the Giants. You get the Jets.
Yeah, the whole division pretty much has a pretty,
not rough.
Yeah, easy schedule.
So I have them going 10-7. We have to stay tuned for the rest of the division previews to figure out if they make the playoffs. But I'll give 2 bold predictions. I mean, you mentioned that Kirk Cousins being MVP. I love that one because, like you said, the offense is going to be completely different. He could be huge. And the biggest recipient for that would be Justin Jefferson. I think he's an obvious bet to go over, 1,300 receiving yards. So my 2 bold predictions are Minnesota has a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense in 2022. And my second one is Zadarius Smith and Daniel Hunter combined for 35 sacks.
35?
Yeah.
Dang.
So 17.5 each.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I call purple people eaters, man.
Yeah, I mean, I love both of those guys. I mean, it's definitely, at least one of them can get to 17, don't you think? I mean, that sounds like a lot, but aren't they both just like savage pass rushers? Isn't that both their strength, you think?
Yeah, but I think like Daniel Hunter kind of has like a motor problem. Like stay motivated. But if he does and like they put money, did they sign him?
Yes.
Okay, so if he's got money in front of him, he might be very, very, he's fed, so he's ready to go.
But he's like, he's not more, he's more of a pass rusher than he is a run stopper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But no one he's like I would say he's the most underrated or like the least looked at
Pass rusher?
Yeah, defensive end.
Yeah, dude, I mean, if you're going based off physique and the way the guy looks without a shirt on, Daniel Hunter is definitely top 5 edge rusher.
What'd you say, physique?
Yeah.
I like that word. Thank you.
His body structure is literally nuts. He looks like a grown mammoth.
You ever seen that sculpture of the Greek dude?
Yeah.
Maybe it's David.
Hmm.
And he's got a 6-pack and like a broad chest.
Yeah,
Maybe he's not that, but I mean he's big. He's naked.
Who?
The statue?
He is naked, yeah.
Oh, he is? Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm not talking about him naked. Just like his upper body. His upper body and his arms. It's like, man, this guy is...
What are you talking about? His dink.
This guy is a freak. That's how I feel about Danielle Hunter. But yeah, it looks like we're both in on Minnesota, going over on wins, potentially winning the division, and just showing out this year. That's a big thing for Minnesota. Let's just get fun with it, man. No more Zimmer. Let's have fun this year, Minnesota.
Kirk Cousins has a van that he can live in.
Right.
And I think that once he's like gets off to a really hot start and stuff, and it's the last game of the season. They need to win the game to maybe make the playoffs or win the division. I mean, he goes outside and his van is put on center blocks. And it turns out it's Mike Zimmer. That's how much he hates Kirk Cousins. That's a bold prediction I have.
They find out it was Mike Zimmer?
Yeah, and his face is real red.
Wow. That would be true hate.
I think he really does, man.
He has true hate on the man?
I think that's probably the one thing he hates more than anything in the world.
Like Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Like he won't watch Minnesota this year because he doesn't want to watch Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I don't think he'll ever be a head coach again, just because I feel the same way about Vic Fangio too. Just those old guys are getting kind of thrown to the side, and the young guys are up and coming.
It's just so interesting how their their reputation gets so soured. Because I remember when Mike Zimmer was first brought in, it was like, man, this guy can build great defenses. He did a couple years, but weren't able to stay healthy and do it all. And he was known for being a really good head coach. They were gonna possibly win. And then by the end of his tenure, everyone in the organization was turning his back and really didn't like him anymore. So it's just crazy how your reputation just gets tarnished over the years.
Yeah, I mean. If I was a Minnesota fan, I would have been fed up with all that too.
Yeah,
having all that talent and underwhelming every year.
And it's just so funny to see the old heads get replaced by these young, nerds. Fun, exciting, more relatable. Because I've seen clips of Kevin O'Connell in their training camp, and he's just a dude.
He's real cool.
Yeah, super chill. You can tell it's not harsh. Blah blah. We got to do this. You're gonna run gassers. Blah blah. Blah. It's nah, dude. We're here to learn, get better. True teaching, and it's refreshing.
Yeah, I agree. Is there anything else you have on Minnesota?
No, I think that's about it, and we'll have to wait and see on those guys. But I'm ready to move on to Detroit, man.
Detroit basketball.
Dirty D, man.
Luke's favorite city in America.
They also have one of my favorite players as well.
Who would that be?
You already know, man.
DeAndre Swift, huh?
I love DeAndre Swift's Detroit fans. You can't say I hate Detroit if I like some of their guys.
No.
I think Dan Campbell is my favorite.
You don't like
coach.
The city. You like the players on their teams, though.
Right.
You would never go to
I'll go to Detroit. I wouldn't make it back out alive, though.
Yeah, I don't think you would, dude, after all the slander you've put on their name.
As long as I stay out of the slums.
All right, man. The Dan Campbell-led Detroit Lions, man.
That's a beautiful thing to say. There's a lot of ring to that.
Yeah, there is. I mean, Dan Campbell, we saw it last year, man. He had these guys playing tough, man. Playing like they had a Red Bull and banana for breakfast. And that's one of the, biggest signs for a good coach. They play for you. They care. They weren't very good, but boy howdy, they had some of the best games last year. The Ravens game, like that.
Yeah.
It was, Detroit. You could never sleep on them, and that's they didn't have much talent at all, but Dan Campbell had them playing. And they made some moves, man. They've got some, Jared Goff is still at the helm. DeAndre Swift is looking real nifty right now. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a great rookie season. They signed DJ Chark. Who else did they sign on it?
Just signed Mike Hughes, DJ Chark, through the draft. I guess you'll get to that. They didn't do much in free agency, though.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep.
D-end out of Michigan.
Jamison Williams.
Coming off the ACL. I guess, they didn't really make any moves, but, it's another year older for their young players who have been, better than advertised, if you ask me. There's a lot of whispers that, the Lions could win the division.
Oh, come on,
Are you
Bob.
buying into that, man?
I don't know if I would go there. Let's just back up a little bit. This is year two for Dan Campbell. Obviously, year one started poorly, but I think the promising thing for the Lions, if you look at their games, if you watch their games, they didn't play as bad as they started off. They lost a bunch of games early on, but if you watch the games, they played pretty good football. So the record doesn't always tell the truth. But coming into year two under Dan Campbell now understands how things are running. The players are starting to get an understanding of Dan Campbell. Obviously, I think things are going up with the draft and the second year. There's not a lot of room to go anywhere else, but they are going up in my opinion. Another exciting thing for the Lions is they're on Hard Knocks this year. So that's getting me definitely more excited for that as well. I love their offensive line. So for Detroit, I think PFF is grading them as a number 3 offensive line, which is really good. That's top tier. That's above, Dallas and Tampa Bay, to throw out names. So I think, they're electrifying, man. Should we go through the offensive line? It is.
Hold on, can I touch on something you were talking about?
Yep.
The Lions are on Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
When does that air?
I'm not sure when they do that. I think they've been filming. They've shown clips, but I'm not sure when it is.
It should be on by now, huh?
Might be on.
I want to see what Dan Campbell's like, man, behind the scenes.
I'd love to.
That's must-watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see that. Man.
I saw a clip of Dan Campbell. He's giving a speech, and he was like, we have to be those guys that will go play at a stadium, that'll go play at a landfill, that'll go play at, a truck yard, anything. It's like, we got to be those type of guys, I was like, that's pretty cool, man. Dan Campbell's cool.
Sometimes he misses the mark with his words, but he makes up for it with his heart.
Passion.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, the Lions are improving. Their defense is very bad still. Aiden Hutchinson should help with that a lot. We'll have to see what Jeff Okudah can bring. But I think I'm just more excited about the offense. I think this offense is going to be a lot better, like much, much improved. I think they can jump up to, a top 15, middle of the pack offense. But I think the season on the Detroit Lions is really riding on the health of DeAndre Swift. I think if we saw last year when Swift played, man, he made a whole difference in this offense. Being down in games, his ability to catch passes, and just be a playmaker on this offense that they kind of lacked last year. I know they added Jamison Williams, who is also a playmaker. We'll just have to see when he'll get back and healthy. But having Swift healthy this year for Detroit will be huge because he's their best offensive player and he's deadly with the ball in his hands.
I was reading that their defensive line is actually very underrated.
Yeah,
and that Aiden Hutchinson will have help, but I'm looking at some of these names and I'm not really familiar with like Aleem McNeil.
they drafted him last year out of NC State.
Is he a pretty good guy?
I mean, he's all right. Yeah.
Charles Harris?
Yeah, he's been okay for him. Romeo Okora, I mean, Michael Brockers. He's been around.
Yeah, but everything else, like behind them, like the linebackers.
I like Derek Barnes if he plays.
And their corners, I guess. Like you said, we'll see what Jeff Okuda is looking like, man.
Awarrier showed a lot of promise last year too. Maybe he could be their number one.
I got a question about this. Do you think Amon-Ra St. Brown is a real deal, or was that kind of a mirage last year? The numbers he put up.
No, he's good, man. I think he's a good real life player. He's got good hands. He showed up in the big games last year. He made a lot of big catches, and I think that's how you tell if someone's real or not. Is what are they doing in times of need? And Amon-Ra St. Brown did that on a handful of times last year, making the big catches, big touchdowns, important plays, and he did it when he was called upon. And like we said before, he has some of the best hands in all of football, in my opinion. He comes down with nearly everything, and I think he's that true guy. I think he can be very comfortable number one target for Jared Goff, at least for this next year, and then if they find a replacement, I think he can. Even though he's not like a true alpha, big body freak, he's more of just like a Golden Tate, Hunter Renfrow type guy, but definitely surefire in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's the perfect wide receiver for Jared Goff's skills. He loves throwing over the middle and stuff and quick. I mean, that's why DeAndre Swift, that was one of Jared Goff's favorite targets, quick little routes that he can get the ball out quickly. And that's what Ra St. Brown can provide. So I don't think it's a mirage.
Me neither.
But what does DJ Chark bring to this mixture? Is he just a big boy with little hands?
Yeah, I like DJ Chark. I was surprised that Jacksonville just let him walk and then paying Christian Kirk. Like, why not just keep DJ Chark? He had a great 2019, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Like, why not? He's still young. He showed promise. So the fact that they let him walk and him going to Detroit is interesting. I just don't love DJ Chark with Jared Goff. I don't think that's really his type of guy. He's not really a deep threat, a deep thrower.
Like a combination.
I mean, Goff's he's not very accurate, and then to go along with not having a big arm,
right.
It's like not a very good combination for a deep threat as DJ Chark would be for them. So I don't love the combination, but DJ Chark as a player, I think is a good player. He's definitely promising. He's shown it. And I'm very interested to see what he brings to Detroit. Because, last year, Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds, a bunch of, middle-of-the-pack guys, and you bring in DJ Chark, who's, I think, in my opinion, is much better than those guys and can play, that stretch the field guy for this team. He definitely brings something over the top, and I think he can definitely help improve this receiving core.
Yeah, I'm just going to get into one of my predictions real quick.
Yeah, please.
I think DJ Chark puts up career highs in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns on the Detroit Lions.
Definitely bold.
Thank you.
And it's funny because I wrote down DJ Chark goes back to 2019.
Dang it, man, we're on the same wavelength. Dude.
And catches over 80 passes, goes over 1,000 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
So, yeah. What was it? Do you know his 2019 stats?
Yeah, it was 80 catches, 1,038 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
Mm. Yeah, I guess it's in the realm of possibility to happen.
Yeah, we don't really know. Jameson Williams.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about him. What do we mentioned that Jared Goff doesn't have a strong arm, Jamison Williams is over the, open up the defense, take the top off the defense kind of guy. What does his outlook kind of look like? They're just going to bring him in slowly and kind of see what they're working with, or?
Yeah, I mean, Jamison Williams can be used kind of wherever. I mean, yeah, he's a great deep threat, but you can also use him on, short and intermediate routes. To me, in my opinion, I think Jamison Williams could be, or is, a faster version of Jerry Jeudy. I think he's crisp in his routes. They look similar, they're built similar.
They do.
But he's faster. And so I think with the Jamison Williams, you can use him on drags and slants, and he can house those. We've seen that before. And so I think he can be used more around the line of scrimmage than I think you would with like Jerry Jeudy, because Judy's more of a route technician. He's not necessarily, 4.3 speed. And I think that's what Jamison Williams can bring next to Amon-Ra St. Brown as a speedier version of Jerry Jeudy. And you can use him around the line of scrimmage. You can do the short and intermittent stuff with him as long as and then he hit him down the field on a big play.
I also think that this is Jared Goff's last season as the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions.
What makes you say that?
I don't think he's the future of the Detroit Lions.
I agree with that, but do you think they go and draft someone, or they bring in a quarterback, or?
I think it has to do with how they play this season. Like, what if they have, like, they see that they have a superstar in Jamison Williams. DJ Chark looks really nice. DeAndre Swift's like a stud. Their offensive line is top 3, and they have a quarterback that can throw short, intermediate passes, but can't throw the deep ball. He's kind of a check down kind of guy. I would bet my bottom dollar that they would make a move. I don't know if they would get younger or go through free agency. Is there a can't miss prospect in this next draft for quarterback?
Well, there's always those guys that, as the college football season goes on, they just start rising. But going into it, like Bryce Young, CJ Stroud.
Ooh, I forgot about them boys. That might be it.
Yeah, but my issue with them finding one of those guys, I think Detroit is one of the most improved teams offensively this offseason. I think they've done an outstanding job in their O-line. So I have a hard time seeing them being having a top 3, top 5 pick, if you want me to be honest. I have them going 7-10 this year. Which, yeah, maybe that is 5 or 6 pick. Maybe you can trade up for a quarterback, but I look at Detroit, their defense is hit or miss, but they've probably improved from last year. And then I look at this offense, I'm like, they really address their needs. Hawkinson will be back healthy. I expect Swift to have a healthy year, DJ Chark, and then their offensive line alone. So I think offensively, I think this team can get to 7-10.
Thank you for mentioning Hawkinson. We went a good 10 minutes without mentioning one of their biggest assets.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, that's another good weapon for Jared Goff. It's just, it's hard for me to see Jared Goff, being in the Detroit Lions' plans for the future.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll have to see what options.
They didn't draft a quarterback, did they?
They did not.
Everyone expected them to.
No, their backup quarterback's Tim Boyle.
What happened to Duck?
He might be on their practice squad.
Tim Boyle?
Yeah.
That guy sounds like he stinks.
Remember, he was on the Packers for the longest, for a little bit, and then...
Did he ever play a game? Get action?
He might have started a game for Green Bay one time.
I think I started the defense that was playing.
If I'm not mistaken, he might have started.
I remember he was real bad.
Yeah, I would expect him to be, but...
I wish there was some kind of QB competition going on in Detroit. That would make it that much better, and Hard Knocks even better.
Yeah, but
with a rookie like a Malik Willis or something.
But to me, that's what worries me too, though. Is what if they actually do believe in Goff? As give him a 3-year window, figure out what he actually is.
Well, how many years does he have on his contract? 2 more?
Yeah, I think so.
So they are invested in a way.
They've a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot
that
of
Rams
money.
Contract.
And people forget Jared Goff took the Rams to the Super Bowl.
Right.
That one year, and he was
fine.
He was good.
Yeah, he was fine, but like you said, I would be shocked if they didn't bring in someone next year. At least draft him in the first 2 rounds, or at least go bring in If there's there's not normally a lot of good free agent quarterbacks, but that are probably better than Goff at this point. But
Bring in Jameis.
maybe we'll have to see what he
That'd be
does.
interesting, but
He might be the Saints long term.
Jared Goff was the first overall pick, right?
Yes, if not number 2. Yeah. No, he was number 1.
He was number 1 from Cal.
Cause the Rams got those picks.
He just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I still root for the Lions.
He's just a California golden boy.
He's one of them freak boys.
I have them going 7-10. Detroit, what do you have them going?
I have them going 6-11.
Okay.
Improved,
Yes.
but I still think they're hamstrung by their quarterback and their defense.
Yeah, that's fair. That's more than fair.
Unless, Aiden Hutchinson's a J.J. Watt. But I still don't think, linebackers, very weak, very unsure at corner, safety, all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, but they're building nicely. Their trenches, I think, is the biggest part to you build from within out. But they already got studs all around that little John, the best head coach in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's obvious to see and to be excited for this team. I've seen some people predict the Lions to finish second in this division and win 8, 9, 10 games, which is obviously it's not the probability, but it's in the realm of possibilities that they win, 8, 9 games and finish second in this division. But at the same time, it kind of feels like it might be a year too early on predicting them to make a playoff run. It feels like they might be stuck in between the playoffs and then top 3 pick. Maybe they can ascend and instead of having a top 3 pick to 10 or 11.
Do you think Dan Campbell's one of the only head coaches that isn't a huge X's and O's guy and really just coaches with passion and love and desire? Everyone else seems to be very smart, but he doesn't seem like an X's and O's. He's gonna drop a crazy play like a Bill Belichick or Josh McDaniel or something,
Right. Yeah, we watch Hard Knocks.
He's the last of a dying breed, man. That's why I never want him to get fired. I just want the Lions to, keep getting better every year and eventually win the Super Bowl with Dan Campbell at the helm.
Oh, man, that would be amazing. Dan Campbell, yeah, he's one of my favorite coaches and personalities. But what if we turn on Hard Knocks, right? And we're watching and he absolutely knows zero about football. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know the positions, plays or anything, but he's just always in there encouraging people.
Yeah. He's just
he walks in from the tight end meeting room and he walks in the door, he's clapping and
he's
let's go boys. He goes to the O-line, he does the same thing.
Yeah, he'd basically be like Steve Ballmer.
Yeah.
Steve Ballmer doesn't know anything about basketball. He just cheers really hard.
Yeah, exactly. But he's the head coach and everyone just loves him even though he doesn't know anything.
My bold prediction for the Lions is they start the season 0-11. They're on an 11-game losing streak.
Wow.
And Dan Campbell, I think they're playing at Lambeau Field in the middle of winter, and he goes out into the field. He has his players meet on the field before the game, and he gets as naked as the day he was born and gives the most passionate, fiery speech, and there's steam coming off his body because his body, he's so riled up. And from that game on, they go on a 6-game winning streak to end the season. And it's a success of a season for the Lions because of that speech that he gives on Lambeau Field on the frozen tundra, butt bald naked in front of his team.
Wow. What a moment that would be.
Incredible. Tears.
Definitely tears in my eyes, man. That would be one of the greatest stories in NFL history.
Would you watch the speech?
I would, man. I probably would.
I'd have to, man.
I want to see what Dan Campbell's got.
See what he's working with, man.
With his speech.
I thought you were talking about his...
No, I'm not into that. Bold prediction, man. DeAndre Swift goes to 1,000 and 1,000 rushing and receiving yards.
Very bold. Has anyone done that?
Marshall Faulk. I think he's the only one, if I'm not mistaken. Someone got close. Really close, but I can't remember.
They keep talking about how they need to. I read reports and I don't really understand what Dan Campbell's saying. Like, are they shutting him down? Or are they speeding him up in the train, and so he's ready for the season? I don't understand what the reports.
What was the reports?
The quote was like the strangest quote. I don't know which
Not
way
surprised.
he was going, but he was saying either we need to slow down his reps in training camp and preseason so he's ready for the season, or he was saying like we need to speed him up so he's ready for the season because he wasn't ready last year because he got injured.
Interesting.
You have to read the quote. It's like an enigma. It's a very
Really?
Dan Campbell way of talking about things.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that because that is oxymoron.
But is this DeAndre Swift's backfield?
Yes, 100%. DeAndre Swift is literally going to be the focal point of this offense. And in my opinion, he's he's a great running back. I believe that. I truly do. He's just so special, dude. I mean, there's so much you can do with DeAndre Swift. And 1,000 and 1,000 is bold, but I think he's capable of doing that just because of his skill set. And he can run basically any route. He's a great running back. I mean, he wasn't great in between the tackles last year, but I think he's gonna get the volume through I got 200 plus carries, and I think he can get there.
That's all I needed to hear, dude.
Yeah, because I know Jamal Williams is still there. He's getting paid. He's going to play.
I haven't heard one peep about Jamal Williams this whole offseason.
It's DeAndre Swift show, baby.
Yeah, that's what it's point, and as it should be. I mean, the best.
He's
player.
bulked up. He looks great in camp. He's ready to go. He's healthy.
See a highlight out there, man, of him catching one in the back of the end zone over the shoulder.
He's very good.
He's quick with it, and he's nice with it, man. He's swift with it.
I have another bold prediction. The Lions make the playoffs. I'm not putting too much stock behind that because it feels like a year early on that. But it's still a chance, still a chance.
I don't have any more, but I wish I did. I wish I had Aiden Hutchinson leads the NFL in sacks.
I was going to put he has the best rookie season of all time from a DN.
See, I was thinking something like that, or the Lions have 7 Pro Bowlers. Jared Goff, DeAndre Swift,
wow.
DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and a lot of offensive linemen.
That'd be wild.
They might have a couple. I can't pronounce the guy's name that's really good on their offensive line.
Vitae?
Is that his name? Yeah, his last name's Vitae. I can't pronounce his first name.
Yeah, I forget.
Is he Samoan?
He might be, yeah.
They might be onto something, man. Just keep drafting Samoans, and those boys can block, protect.
Maybe they can draft Penei Sewell's brother. Looks like it's time for the Chicago Bears.
Oh, man. Let's save the worst for last.
Hey, come on, man.
Are they the worst? You have them winning the division again?
No, I have them winning the first overall pick.
Oh, man. So they're going to stink on ice. I'm kind of interested to see how many wins you give them.
We'll see.
Well, let's get into the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
There's a new Nagy's out of town. That's a plus, I think.
That might be the biggest news.
Yeah, that might be the best off-season move that the Chicago Bears have made. Justin Fields, second year. Yeah, he's a promising young man. David Montgomery's still there. Darnell Mooney, showed out last year. He's expected to be, that dude. They signed Byron Pringle. They drafted Velus Jones Jr. They still got Cole Kmet. I think the word around the Chicago Bears this offseason is that they did not do enough to put weapons around Justin Fields, and it was a shockingly little work they did to improve their wide receiver core, offensive line. They pretty much didn't do squash. They just, makes me feel bad for Justin Fields. But what do you got on these downtrodden Bears for 2022?
Yeah, a lot of significant changes. moved on from Nagy, moved on from Ryan Pace. Clearly, they're rebuilding. I mean, there's no secret. They've shown that without bringing weapons, not addressing a lot of the needs, and just not doing much. I mean, losing Allen Robinson, losing Khalil Mack, bringing in, a new coach, new offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator. But I'm a little bit intrigued by the Bears. Maybe they're not as bad as we think. I mean, the Bears, I mean, they're horrible. I mean, honestly, there's not much to say. Their O-line is top 3 worst offensive line. Probably have the worst receiving core. But, I mean, they still have Roquan Smith. Robert Quinn was awesome last year. Jalen Johnson is one of the better young corners in the game. Eddie Jackson, also another name. And then drafting Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon to be, to help improve that secondary. Those are really good names, good players. I like Cole Kmet. I'll say that first and foremost. I think Cole Kmet is a very good tight end. I think he can take a lot of pressure away from the receiving core this year, and hopefully can open things up for them. But I'm excited because I think this new regime, offensive coordinator, will tailor the offense to Justin Fields. Matt Nagy is more of a system guy. It doesn't matter who's quarterbacking. This is how you're going to play. This is my system. You run this, you run that. I don't care about you. But I think this regime's coming in here. What does Justin Fields do best? How can we make this offense around him? I think that's going to be a huge thing for the Bears going forward. Because last year was horrible, and I don't think Fields is a bad quarterback. I think he's got a lot of potential. So if they build it the right way, build the offense around him, I do expect the Bears to not be as bad as we think. He's shown some promise.
Yeah, you mentioned the offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy.
Getsy, yep.
I think the biggest, mistake, or Nagy did was be stubborn and never mold the offense around the strength of Justin. He made him look like poop, and the play calls didn't make sense. Matt Nagy should go to the CFL, man. He maybe even assistant there, dude, because that was bad. So I think this new regime knows what they're getting themselves into. They got a talent in Justin Fields. But, man, they're behind the 8 ball. Their number 2 wide receiver is Byron Pringle.
Yeah.
Who's what was he on the Chiefs? Like a special teams dude? And
a little bit.
Played in 4 wide receiver sets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He destroys the Broncos all the time in returns and stuff. I'll never forgive him. But we drafted the Jones out of Tennessee, who's a speed merchant. Haven't heard much about that. And they acquired N'Keal Harry. Golly, those all stink. What is Justin Fields going to do with that, dude?
It's not much, but he does have Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney, man. That's the only, bright spot. I guess you can consider... David Montgomery's not even bright no more. He's kind of doling out, man. Kind of know what he is. There's just not much looking up for the Bears right now, I will say, you mentioned, some of their secondary guys. I think that's the strength of this team. The secondary, they had the Robert Quintessence last year. But, he's a veteran and, playing with a stinky team, he might be looking,
I think he's holding out, too.
Yeah, where's the closest exit, dude? Because I'm not going to be around for this dumpster fire,
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith are holding out right now for contracts. Because they're probably looking to get paid or traded, because this team is horrid.
I don't blame them, man.
But I want to say, they lost Allen Robinson, but I know Allen Robinson and Nagy had beef, and Robinson quit on him. I don't blame him, but it would be nice to have Robinson here with Justin Fields, with the new offensive coordinator that would tailor to Allen Robinson's strengths. And having Robinson and Mooney is a great one too, in my opinion. I think that would be a good start for Justin Fields. And I think they'll miss Allen Robinson. If you ask me, yeah, he didn't perform well. He was injured last year, but I believe in Allen Robinson as a talent, and I think it was mostly based off last year giving up on Matt Nagy.
Yeah, it would be a lot more. The Bears would be a lot more interesting to look at with Allen Robinson and the new regime and seeing how they work things out. But, they let him go.
They let him go, and the talent they have on this roster is not enough to help them out in the win column.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess their plan is to be bad.
Yes.
Because you can't explain how, signing Byron Pringle, trading for N'Keal Harry, staying status quo is trying to win football games. So it looks like a little Tankapalooza over plunder.
Yeah, it's very negative. Everyone understands that Chicago's doing what they're doing. But if you're a fan, let's just hope. I guess your only hope, or the only thing you're really looking for, is like, can Justin Fields develop enough in 2023? I guess that's enough.
To see some improvement.
If he's can be their starter quarterback. But obviously they will be pushing for an early draft pick next year. Maybe get Will Anderson or someone like that, one of those top-notch studs. But with that being said, man, what is your record for the Chicago Bears?
3-14.
Do you know the 3 wins off the top of your head?
I do not. But they have one of the easiest schedules in the whole league.
Yeah, 9th.
I want to change it to 4.
4-13?
4-13, correct.
Okay.
They're bound to win one of those weird ones.
Just because the Chicago Bears are the Bears, can we go through each game and you tell me which games they can win or lose?
Sure.
San Francisco at home, week 1.
Loss.
Green Bay, week 2 at Green Bay.
Loss.
At versus Houston at home.
Loss.
The Giants at Meadowlands.
Loss.
At Minnesota.
Loss.
Washington at home.
Loss.
At New England.
Loss.
At Dallas.
Loss.
At home versus Miami.
Loss.
At home versus Detroit.
They'll win that one.
At Atlanta. That's a good game, man. That'll be a barn burner.
I'm going to go with the Bears.
You'll take the Bears against Atlanta?
Yeah.
At New York Jets. At New York Jets.
Loss.
At home versus Green Bay.
Loss.
At home versus Philly.
Loss.
At home versus Buffalo.
Loss.
At Detroit.
Loss.
At home versus Minnesota.
Loss.
You had them winning 2 games.
I think I could have picked them against the Texans.
And Detroit?
At Detroit again?
You think they can?
I don't think they'll sweep Detroit, but I think they'll beat them at home.
Okay.
They could have... The Giants was one I thought about. Texans. There's another bad team that I could have picked the Bears. But
Washington?
Yeah, I was thinking about that one. But is it at Washington?
It's at home versus Washington.
See, they could win a couple of those and get to 4 wins.
I think Washington will be good.
But it's hard for me to see them.
Okay. Yeah, it's a range from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like their...
4 is like their pinnacle. That's like the top.
You don't think they could sneak out the Jets, Atlanta, Houston, Giants are probably the 4 wins. And then 1 out of Detroit.
Buffalo?
Maybe Washington. And, that's pretty much it.
They could sneak one against the Dolphins, the Patriots.
Maybe.
The Buffalo Bills.
I wouldn't bet on it, man. Chicago's terrible, man.
Yeah, 2 to 4 wins sounds about right for them. Sounds like in the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, I believe that. They're actually favored in the game against Houston at home.
It's at Chicago?
Yeah.
I'd pick Chicago.
You would?
No, I'd pick the Texans.
Yeah, we'll get to the AFC South, man, but I don't know about that. I don't know if they should be favored against Houston.
What is our next division we want to do? AFC South?
No, I think we should go. We should at least
NFC?
if we trade NFC in AFC, we should do AFC North next.
Let's do that.
All right, unless you want to do NFC East.
Oh, I bet you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Nah, we'll do that after the AFC. We'll switch AFC and NFC just to keep you on your toes. But I have the Bears going 3-14. I think Atlanta, the Jets, and then one of like the Houston Giants, Detroit games they can win.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't bet them winning 2 out of 3 of those, just 1 out of 3. So I'll have them going 3-14. My bold prediction, I have 3 bold predictions. I'll give one, and I guess you can give yours. This team goes 0-17. It's the first team in NFL history to go 0-17.
You know, it's not so bold. Like, after going through that schedule, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they went 0-7. No, maybe I would.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go 0-17. Yeah,
so.
It's hard to go 0-17, man.
My bold prediction is that Justin Fields leads the Bears in rushing touchdowns.
Wow. All right. More than Montgomery?
Yeah.
More than Herbert?
Mm-hmm.
How many is that, would you say? 6?
Yeah, 6 to 8.
Wow, that's a lot.
I think they're going to use him, man.
Use him as a runner?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he showed he's pretty dang good. He got some wheels.
Yeah, he's nice with it. I like Justin Fields. He's got a big arm and he can run. I like that combo.
Yeah.
But it's just
I bet one of your predictions has to do with Darnell Mooney.
Yes.
Just hit me with that one real quick.
2 of my there's not too much to say about the defense. I usually like to give a defensive one, but there's not much to say. I like Roquan Smith. That's really it. But Khalil Herbert becomes the number 1 running back.
Come on, man.
Leads the team in total touches, and David Montgomery gets moved.
Traded?
Do they trade running backs in the NFL?
I mean, it happens, but not really.
David Montgomery gets traded, and Khalil Herbert, even before he gets traded, the reason he gets traded is because of Khalil Herbert's just better.
Khalil Herbert's got juice that David Montgomery ain't got.
And it sounds like there's going to be a split. They've been using Montgomery in special teams and saying he's going to be catching more, which makes it seem like he's not going to get a lot of the 1-2 work. So there's a little
special teams.
Yeah,
David Montgomery.
Yes.
Sheesh.
He's been So I'm looking at these reports. Like a lot of the times, like it's black and white, but there's a little gray in this one, man. Maybe they're trying to tell us something that maybe since they're a rebuilding team, they don't really need Montgomery. Like you can get value out of them if you trade them. If someone gets hurt on Tampa or Los Angeles, he can become definitely an intriguing trade partner. And Khalil Herbert's good. At the end of the day, I think he's just better. That's my bold prediction. Another one, Darnell Mooney has over 150 targets, and he goes over 1,500 receiving yards.
I had 1,300.
Yeah, I'll top that, man.
Yeah, yours was more bold.
I think, I'm looking at it, so if he, say he goes over 150 targets, he gets 9 targets, possibly 10 targets a game. That's a lot. There's no one else really to throw to. He loves throwing to him so far in camp. Darnell Mooney's big play. So if he sees that amount of targets, the yards are going to come with that. So I'll take going bold with 1,500 yards receiving.
I'm going to go bold. N'Keal Harry leads the team in receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
No.
Come on, man. It's Renaissance, baby.
No, they got N'Keal Harry to run block because he's the best run blocker.
Velus Jones Jr. wins Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. That's bold.
Yeah, right. He stinks, dude.
Yeah, but he's 24, man. He's got the upper end on that. Byron Pringle, Daz Newsome, Equinemius St. Brown, Tajee Sharp.
Hold on. Slow your roll. Is Daz Newsome the Louisville guy?
No.
That's
Des Fitzpatrick.
That's Tutu. Atwell?
No, dude, you're thinking of Des Fitzpatrick on the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Daz
Who's
Newsome
Tutu
is
Atwell?
the Rams.
Did he go to Louisville?
I believe so, yes.
That's the guy I'm thinking of.
The little guy?
Who's Des Fitzpatrick?
I think he went to Louisville, yeah. Daz Newsome is the guy from North Carolina, I believe.
Is he a rookie?
No, it's his second year, I think.
Huh, I'm intrigued by him.
Me too.
Justin Fields. I was going to make one up at the top of my head, but I ain't got none.
You didn't have nothing on it?
Nope.
What What about Jalen Johnson leads the NFL in interceptions?
Jalen Johnson.
He's only projected to get 2 interceptions.
What is he, a safety or a corner?
No, he's the number 1 corner. He's good, I believe.
I have a bold prediction. You know how the Bears have a really shoddy offensive line?
Yes.
They go to Alaska and they recruit a grizzly bear, and they take him back to Chicago, Illinois, and in the locker room they shave him clean. They leave him a beard so he resembles a human, and on game day they dress him up, and he's kind of out there. They take his claws out first of all because that's a weapon. And everyone's like, man, who is this giant 8-foot, 600-pound right tackle? And he ends up getting a Pro Bowl nod in his, first NFL season.
And then they take off his helmet, and it's Tevin Jenkins.
Poopy pants.
He's on a trade block already, dude. What happened?
Yeah, I think he's like, is he a firehead or something? Because all the Bears fans keep saying, like, where's Tevin Jenkins at? He's like, I'm fine.
They kicked him off?
Yeah, he's like, he answered the guy on Twitter, and he's like, I'm fine, just don't believe everything you read or something.
Really?
Yeah, but I guess he's been missing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because I saw, it's like Tevin Jenkins is on the trade block, 2nd-round pick from last year. And I was like, Tevin Jenkins? I thought he was supposed to be good.
I have a question. Do you think if they did that bear tactic, if they shaved the bear and put him in all football garb, would you believe that he's an offensive lineman?
To be honest, I'm still disturbed thinking about a hairless bear.
Dude, they're on the internet and they're very disturbed.
I'm not going to look it up because in my head it's just, it's a scary sight.
And that his name's Grizzly Adams. He's got Adams on his back.
How would he get away with it, though?
They don't tell me. He doesn't do interviews. They don't see him.
You couldn't tell that it's a bear.
He's shaved.
It's just like Thursday night football and there's a bear playing football.
Oh, like whenever they say they're college?
Montana.
Yeah, they just have him open his mouth and someone... There's like a voiceover?
Yeah.
Grizzly Adams, Montana. And he's still wearing his helmet, and he's got like a visor, and like they pretty much cover him from head to toe.
They make him look as human as possible. Maybe they could like spray
I don't know
paint
how
him.
that would go, though.
No, you definitely... Like, how would you get him to function as a tackle?
You know how they have those actor bears in Hollywood?
Yeah?
You just train them.
Train him to play right tackle in the NFL?
Yeah, like, don't let this guy get past you at any means possible.
You would just, like, bite his leg.
But they're like, you can't use, like, deadly force.
What if he was, like, really good, like, good foot technique? And he's like...
I mean, dude, just
like
one
blocking
shove from him.
Blocking Aaron Donald. Like, dude, this guy is crazy.
After the game, he's like, dude, Grizzly Adams is a first ballot Hall of Famer, man. I've never met anyone with that kind of upper body strength.
If there was a bear that could do that, he would, 0 sacks.
Nothing.
No pressures, anything. That dude would just be like... You could literally pull him like they do with Trent Williams, and he would just, like, take out, like, everyone.
What if there was, like, and then, like, after his career, no one realized that he was a bear, and then, like, 10 years after he retires, there's like a documentary that comes out that he was a grizzly bear the whole time.
And there's just like footage of him just like in Montana.
Yeah. Being a bear is like, this is Grizzly Adams now. He's just
he's just back to being a bear.
He's fishing salmon out of a lake. Retirement.
And he has like his Chicago Bears jersey. Like...
Mounted?
Yeah, mounted on a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like all his accolades.
But he doesn't have a house. Yeah, he just living the bear. He's back to living a bear life.
Like none of it even happened. Wow, that would be one heck of a story.
Yeah, that was my bold prediction. To make something interesting out of the Bears season, man. Because there's not much going on in Chicago.
I think they got rid of Soldier Field, right? It's something else now.
I think they're in the process of
Getting a new
building
one?
it.
Really?
It was gonna look like it, but more modern, I think.
With
You
like
know how it's like Soldier Field's like kind of like, how would you describe it? Like,
the stadium itself? I know it's right on the water.
yeah, but it's like real. What is it?
Out of date?
Yeah, but it's it doesn't look like all future. It looks old, like a castle.
Yeah, it does. Like a
From the
coliseum.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't think they should change that.
It's always just, I don't know if the stadium's a problem. Like maybe they should build a dome because of the cold weather. But like that's what makes Soldier Field. That's what makes Chicago, you know? And like I think the field is kind of trashy. Like sometimes like it's a lot of like dead grass, I remember.
Yeah, it's always dead grass when it comes to like fall and winter.
And it's just yeah,
It's never a nice field.
no, it's never nice.
I think that's probably part of the reason.
It'd be snowy or muddy or just
I mean,
dead.
the Vikings have an outdoor stadium, and they're in Minnesota, and that's a dang nice stadium, man.
US Bank, dude, it's incredible. That's one of my favorite stadiums.
Do we ever see snow games there, though?
No, it's covered. It's got a roof on it.
It does? Oh, is it retractable? Because I've seen some.
Yeah, well, they have a big, huge glass window in the end zone that kind of lets all the light in. So it looks like there's not a roof, but there is.
But there always is a roof? There's never open?
I think so. It might be retractable, but it seems like it's always closed. But there's so much light that comes in because it's
Yeah,
basically...
because I can see there's a shadow and there's sun.
It's basically glass. Yeah, all glass.
Interesting.
But it's
Cool.
super nice. Yeah, I love playing there in Madden.
Me too.
Who else has a good stadium?
I like the SoFi.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I think it's real futuristic.
You
and
saw Allegiant, the Raiders. I've
Yeah, it
heard a
looks
lot
like-
of good things about it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like the black outside. It looks like a
UFO.
black gemstone spaceship. It's beautiful, really.
Really?
Yeah, and I saw the new Mercedes-Benz stadium in Atlanta when it was being built, but I didn't get to see the finished product.
Yeah, I've seen videos on YouTube. It looks crazy. Like they do that thing where it's like it's weird how like it connects to the ground. It's almost like a tent. It's weird, very strange how like the new ones look.
Oh yeah,
It's like they pitch a tent, but it's like not at all. It's like a huge. I've never been in Jerry's World, but I've seen it from the outside. But I've heard it's really cool. But Jerry's probably getting all juicy because all these other stadiums are getting bigger and nicer than his. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen too many stadiums in person. You know, I'd like to go to Mile High Stadium.
We've been there.
We
took a
but I
tour.
want to see like a game.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I love the Mile High Stadium. Like we walked out, they give us a tour. We walked out to like the field and
That
stuff.
grass, man.
And you just like look up into the stands and you're like, God dang, this is gigantic. Like just imagining like it all filled up, like from the field, like playing. It was like I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, we saw where they like do Monday Night Football, like where the announcers sit.
Yeah.
Like we saw their angle, which is really cool.
It's pretty far out there.
The visitors' locker room.
Yeah, pretty trippy.
But other than that,
And how you like walk out and it shows you like the altitude and Rocky Mountain to get psychological advantage.
how high above sea level you are.
Yeah, just throw them off.
Yeah, I'd like to go to more stadiums.
I'd like to go to Arrowhead. I know that's probably not a good thing for you, but the loudest stadium in football. And like the way it's constructed to where like all the sound kind of just goes down
It's like a
instead of
bowl,
up.
a pit.
Yeah, it's
What
psychological.
about Arizona Stadium?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think
Superdome?
did they just hold the Super Bowl there or something? Or they're going to?
I think they did recently.
Yeah, maybe 2 years ago. But yeah, it's old, and I like how like it's like the end zone or the red zone. It's got that big wall behind that end zone, like the Cardinal sticker on it.
Oh yeah.
I just
don't know,
remember
I think maybe that stadium's trashy.
it might be kind of trashy now. Yeah.
What about the Superdome? Would you like to go there?
Yeah. The New Orleans.
We seen the Tennessee. Oh, maybe you didn't. I saw the Tennessee Titans stadium.
Never seen it.
Butt crack.
It stinks.
Yeah, but it's in a cool location. It's right off a river. But I think they're talking about how poopy it is. Nissan Stadium or
Yeah.
something? Yeah, poop. And that field never looks nice either.
No, it really doesn't either. No.
Heinz Field?
Yeah, that'd be one to go to. I think they're changing Heinz. They just did. I saw a clip of them removing the ketchup bottle off the side.
What the heck? What is it going to be?
Probably Dirtwater Sylvester.
Oh, man. I mean, that's more catchy.
Maybe the Dirty Towel Stadium.
What about, what is the Eagles team?
Well, Lambeau.
Lincoln Financial or something?
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to go there.
neither would I.
Their field never looks nice either. Unless they paint the end zone black.
It's looked better. It used to be really bad. But like last year, it looked a little nicer.
Meadowlands? I don't think
I'd love to go
anymore.
there. They play artificial turf.
The Giants and the Jets play at the same stadium still?
Oh, yeah.
They do?
They do.
Oh, that place is cool.
I think, right? Meadowlands, yeah. They didn't build nothing for nobody.
I think the Commanders were supposed to build something up.
They might be, yeah. They got to figure out their owner, man. That guy.
What about CenturyLink?
Yeah, that's another one that's up there. I'd like to go there as well. That's right behind like Arrowhead. I'd like to go there for sure. It looks sick. It's huge. It's loud. But they stink.
SoFi is the Chargers and the Rams.
Yep. LA, baby.
I want to go to the Jaguars Stadium, dude, and get in that pool out there.
I think that stinks.
I'm sure it's. I don't know why they have a team in Jacksonville.
I don't even know what the name of it is. Isn't it like something weird?
DJ Pauley
TDAA
Stadium.
or something?
Tampa Bay might be cool.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What's the other Florida team?
Miami? Hard Rock?
Actually, I kind of like that field.
It kind of reminds me of like a football stadium, soccer stadium.
I think they've played a lot in there.
Because it's like all four sides, I think, are even. And then they have those little twirlies right outside, you know, to walk up on.
What about NRG?
Where would you class that as like a bottom tier NFL stadium? NRG? I was thinking about this the other day.
I don't know. I haven't been to any.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely not like Denver, Kansas City.
CenturyLink.
But that's like, I think those are different because they're outdoor and like stuff like that.
Yeah. It's not, I don't think it's bad. Like
I like NRG.
You look at it from the outside, like, wow, that's a nice stadium. And you go inside, it's like, wow, this is nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Like the seating's nice and the field looks good.
Yeah.
It's fake turf. And
I don't think there's anything wrong with NRG.
Neither do I. Maybe you could expand it. I don't think it sits a lot. But I'm not sure how much they're selling out games anymore.
What about Ford Field?
I'd love to go to Ford Field, man. You know how I feel.
You ain't going, man. They'll throw you onto the field as sacrifice.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm going.
Get 'em!
That's why I'm going in there with Grizzly Adams.
That's the only way you'd get out of Detroit alive. What about the Browns?
I don't want anything to do with them.
Ravens?
Yeah, send me out to Baltimore. I feel like, have we not seen that stadium before? I've never been to Baltimore.
Ohio?
No. Baltimore's not in Ohio.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Browns.
Oh. I'm not going there.
No, we've been to Baltimore. I don't remember seeing it.
Neither do I. Or Camden Yards.
It might be in Annapolis.
We've been there. No, we haven't. We haven't been there. We've been close. But I'd like to go see a Ravens game. I want to see the Ravens. I
What
like the
about
Ravens.
Paul Brown Stadium?
I've never been, but I'm not too... That's not on the top of my list.
You know who plays in Paul Brown?
Yeah, the Browns.
No.
Is it not?
The Bengals.
Oh, that's right. I like their stadium a lot.
It looks like a jungle cat fever.
Yeah, and they have the Bengal stuff on the walls around the stadium.
I know one you'd like to go to.
Sure.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's a nice one. That one's nice. The field house.
It might be out of date,
No, man, they have the combine there.
but it's nice though. Like it's one of those ones that like age well. Cause you got like the bricks and like it's big in the windows and stuff. Lucas Oil.
Lucas Oil. That's what it is. I was trying to think.
What'd you call it? The barnyard.
The field house. I think
The
that's
field
like
house is
Indiana Pacers, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
What about Gillette Stadium?
It's probably super nice.
Foxborough.
With the amount of money they've gotten. They have that little bridge thing, which is cool.
Oh, I know where you want to go.
Where?
What's the Levi Stadium?
Levi.
Is that San Francisco?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to do that one.
That one's probably real nice.
Santa Clara.
What about the Buffalo Bills?
Orchard Park.
Yeah, Orchard. Orchid?
I ain't going in the winter.
Even though for the fans.
Yeah, the tailgating would probably be cool.
What else is there?
They're wild though, dude.
You gotta get on it.
They're stupid and wild.
I think I went through them all. Probably not.
What is it? NFC West, NFC North.
Been through them all.
All right, yeah.
You got anything?
Oh,
more?
Carolinas.
Oh, I kind of like that one actually.
You actually do?
Yeah.
Huh?
I like there's everything about it in their end zone.
Really? Do they have don't they have the eyes? Panther eyes?
Yeah, I think so. And they have the black paint in the end zone.
Yeah, I think their owner has like the most money or something. Tepper. He spends a lot of money on this stuff. They have that black leopard, that CGI one.
Oh yeah.
That runs around for a little bit.
I forgot about that one.
Did I say leopard? I meant panther.
It's panther, man.
Obviously, yeah. That's it for me, man, unless you got other things.
You don't have anything else on the NFC North?
No, man, we covered a lot, I feel like.
Yeah, I think we did a good job, and we'll be back. We'll be back on it pretty soon. Before we go, don't forget, we got an email. Forget what you heard, podcast@gmail.com. Get in touch. Don't be shy. But other than that, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Forget What You Heard. As always, we love the support. We love you guys. We appreciate you. You guys have a great week. Peace, love, and happiness.
Robert E. Woods.